Root, root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. 1, 2, 3, search them out at the old ball game.
Hello, folks, and welcome into Packs for Breakfast. Here on Sunday, back with you after a week off. We had a fairly decent bout of sickness come through and try and wipe everybody out. Seems to be going around all over the place, but pick that back in action. Got some 1995 Topps baseball. Should be fun. Not the best cards. They were kind of based off the shortened 94 season, so there wasn't a whole lot for them to play with at that point. But Randy, how are you doing this week?
I'm doing great. The Rockies are currently undefeated in Cactus League play.
In Cactus.
It's like, yeah, and they're scoring a ton of runs. I mean, they really are. It's like Brenton Doyle hit a grand slam, I think, 2 days ago. It's like they're totally hit a home run yesterday. And the pitching staff yesterday, we only gave up 3 runs to Arizona. So, hey, if you go off of only the first 2 games, right now the Rockies look like contenders
There you go.
in the preseason.
They always do.
At the preseason, the Rockies time of year.
All right, I'm stopping because I don't see my audio coming in on YouTube. Let's see. It's been a week off. I got technical. Oh, and of course, there it is. All right, we're back.
Audio's running.
Well, so the Rockies are undefeated in spring training play, which is cool. We got 1995, they were probably defeated. I'm just saying.
Well, you figure 95 would have been their 3rd season, but if it's based off of 94, it's weird to think that it's like they played a season, then they got the shortened season in 94. That was only their 2nd year.
So we got we got the Rock. All right, I'm back to it, guys. I'm sorry, I was doing my technical stuff. I'm the producer, as well as the host. So you gotta do too many things at once. Doesn't make for great show, but cards do. So we got plenty of those to get into. 1995 Topps we'll review. They are the Series 1 Power Pack, which I thought was funny. It's totally 1995, the design, the power, it was a nostalgic. And they did come with a spectra-like card in every pack. You could find Own the Game instant win cards. I don't even think I've pulled one out of this box. Cool if we found one of those. Every card was foiled stamped, which kind of made things difficult for cameras. But other than that, it's a good looking card. It's just not the best design they ever did. And like I said, it was the shortened season, so there wasn't a whole lot of emphasis put on these cards. But with that, I guess we should just get to opening.
Why did they only show that?
All right. We're going to start out with a 1990s staple. Ruben Sierra.
Yeah, it's like if you're talking about a player that was pretty much synonymous with the '90s and played for quite a few teams. It
Yeah.
was Ruben Sierra.
And you got Armando Reynoso. I really liked him as a Rocky.
So did I. You know, maybe he could go up on the wall as a temporary. He won't last. The poor guy won't last, but
No, and he wasn't
it's
the
like,
wasn't the best pitcher by any stretch, but he was serviceable.
yeah, I mean, he was good for a Rockies pitcher.
And future quite well. Current Rocky, future re-Rocky as a manager. Walt Weiss, never my favorite. But he did have the flip-up sunglasses. Oh, he gets points for that.
Thing is, though, he was such an awful coach. He made so many bad decisions.
Well, is Mark Dewey going to make our list? Pirates to be on the team?
Oh God, no. I'm sorry, Mark Dewey. Maybe if he was in charge of the Dewey Decimal System, maybe, but
Brian Jordan, I remember him being a pretty good outfielder, Cardinals. Now, I hated the Cardinals, so he doesn't stand a chance, but not bad.
well, I mean, he was also an Atlanta Falcon, so I think he was a pretty good corner or safety for the Falcons too. So
Yep. Got Chad Curtis for the Angels. The picture quality. Hey, there's Ozzy.
there is Ozzy. Was it one of the best pure shortstops? Not a good hitter, but man, he could field his position.
I'm sorry, the foil was not hard to, or it was hard to get it lit to where it reads well. But Ed Sprague, Blue Jays. I do like the
Thing is,
I do like the
yeah,
picture quality on these cards.
yeah, it's like the pictures are very good on these. I mean, because you got to figure they did not have the full season to get all these guys. So you have to wonder. It's like, did they have some of these guys where they would go, we'll get them like at 140, 150, and it's like, you're not going to get them at 140 or 150.
Lou Whitaker, second base.
Actually, he wasn't a bad second baseman, Lou Whitaker.
Now, one thing that is giving me problems with these cards is they're not collated very well. They're backwards and forwards. See, we got Star Trek, Armando Benitez.
He was actually pretty good too. It's trying to look up Sweet Lou Whitaker here. Kind of numbers that he put up. Boy, I'll tell you, he played a long time. He played as he debuted in '77. He did have 2,300 hits, 244 home runs, 276 batting average. Played his entire career with the Tigers.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
All right, we have a hard time finding second baseman.
we really do. It's like Lou Whitaker is a deserving guy to go up there.
Huh. Sorry, reading about Armando Benitez.
Armando Benitez.
And we got Alex Cole for the Twins. Jeff
Alex Cole, that's actually a future. Wait, maybe I was a past Colorado Rocky because he was on the expansion roster.
We got
Armando.
Jeff Granger for the Royals. Star Trek. These must have been like their upcoming rookie cards. There's our spectra light foil card. It's just a little bit different. And
Oh, you talk about a solid catcher. Don Slott was a solid catcher.
I'm gonna push for him to be our catcher, so that knocks out two things. One, it's he's a pirate, and two, um, one of my favorite names for a baseball player.
You know what his nickname was? Don Slott's
What's that?
Sluggo. That's like the perfect nickname for like a catcher. Sluggo.
And then there's Chili Davis. Odd that they have him as a DH.
Well, here's the fun part. You have two of those perennial '90s guys in Chili Davis and Ruben Sierra in this pack.
Yeah, Chili he was a good home run guy. He was a switch hitter.
Yeah, Chili was a good player. Well, so was Sierra. I mean, they're both. That's why we really associate them with the '90s. They were both really good in that era. It's like, I think that first pack, we got off to a pretty decent start there.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Once again, though, collation is not. All right. Let's see. We're going to start off with John Flaherty. Catcher for Tigers. You're not beating out Don. I'm sorry.
No. Well, what's funny is that they have a pitcher that's named Flaherty now.
Is it Jack?
I don't know. I think it's Jeff Flaherty. It's like it was the guy that they had for half the season. Then they traded him to the Dodgers, and then they re-signed him in the offseason this year.
You got Jose Vizcaino. He was a good player throughout the 90s. You hear of him a lot.
It's like I think he was also a former Cubby. Oh,
hey,
look.
There he is.
Hilarious.
We were just talking before we went live about there's Rock.
Tim Rock Reigns. He played for almost everybody, I think.
Oh yeah, he was and a lot of people. If I don't talk about him in a Hall of Fame aspect, as far as putting him up on the stand, I get a lot of flack for it. People liked him.
Well, I mean, he was a very likable player, but there were a lot of players that were, they were better than him. There's no doubt he's great, but there were a lot of other people that I would definitely rank as better than Tim Rock Reigns.
You got Tino Martinez, always liked Charles Nagy, future Yankee.
Actually, the guy that plays for the Tigers is Jack Flaherty, so his name's the same.
I think Armando, you're coming down. I'm gonna put Nagy up there for now.
Yeah, Nagy was definitely a better.
Pete Smith, I'm sorry. Hey, it's Bruce's cousin.
Johnny
Ruffin. Looks like a young kid in that. Star Trek. Orlando Miller. Astro.
You know what? I'm going to say that he did not track as a star.
So you got the 94 Topps All-Stars. You got Franco and Smith. Lee Smith, Frank, or John Frank. Two good pitchers.
Oh, yeah. They were both amazing relievers.
And then draft pick, Kevin Witt. people who you don't see the names later on, we're looking backwards. So Kevin Witt was a draft pick in '94, but it's not like you know a lot about him now. Unfortunately, he didn't do anything.
Well, his MLB statistics, he batted 233, 15 home runs, 41 runs batted in.
Ah,
Yeah, but you know what? He did finish his career with the Tampa Bay Devil Rays.
excellent.
So it's like, way to go.
Frank Rodriguez, pitching prospect. They got a draft pick, Paul Konerko. Well, he
Oh,
went
there's
on,
a good player.
yeah, he went on to be. I'm not gonna. I don't want to put him in our catcher spot though.
No, but he definitely had a nice career.
And you got Moose.
Oh, it's like we've seen it as one of those underrated guys, but I mean, he had a great career with the Orioles. And I think he went on to have a pretty good career with the Yankees, too.
I think like the Spectra light card, so he's gonna go up there.
Here's the thing about Konerko, and I don't want to get rid of Don Slott. I really don't. But Konerko batted 279, and he had 439 home runs and 2,300 hits.
Well, I know he should be in there. I just didn't want to get rid of Don.
Yeah, I know. It's one of those things. It's like you don't want to get rid of Don Slott, but Konerko. I mean, we do need a DH. Konerko would be a heck of a guy in the DH position.
All right, fine. I'll pick him out of there. He'll go to DH for.
Yeah, I think he'd be a good DH. I just think that it's like he is a really good player, and you got a draft pick card of his.
Yep. Let's see. Got Harold Baines. Definitely towards the end of his career, but
Yes. Oh wait, towards the end.
Steve Traxel for your Cubbies.
Holy cow!
And Traxel, that's the fun. That is the fun part because it's like you remember a lot of these guys because because I was a Cubs fan before we got the Rockies, and he was a guy that once again prospect. He was supposed to be really really good. He had an okay career, but Steve Traxel was because the way that um, Harry Carey would hype these guys. I mean, it's like he made all of them seem like such a big deal. So it's like even Steve Traxel just seemed like such a big deal. But he played forever. I mean, he really did. He played for like 16 seasons, but he had a losing record.
Carlos Reyes.
He played for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, too.
Of course he did.
Of course he did.
Randy Milligan for the Expos. Oh, wait. The Expos, I guess they would have been. Expos were still around.
Yeah, because remember the '94 season, the Expos were like really, really good, and that was one of the things that kind of pissed off people because the Expos at that point they had a 649 winning percentage when the season ended. I mean, they were 74-40. I mean, they had the best record in the National League. And it's like I think they had the best record in all of baseball. I mean, nobody was better than them, not even the Yankees. And it just pissed off a lot of people because, of course, soon after Montreal would be in Washington.
Right.
And that was a real chance for them to win.
I like these pictures. They were pretty popular in the 90s of the players taking over the camera. And Randy Myers, another pitcher for the Cubs.
There's a lot of Randys in that pack.
Yep. Let's see. You got Wayne Kirby, an action. So he's sliding and then he's running up. Hey, it's Chris Gwynn.
I'm sorry, Chris, but there's a guy that has the first name Tony with your last name that was so much better.
Has to suck to be in that line. I mean, he's still in the majors.
It's like, yeah, you see a Gwyn in the lineup and you just go, oh, there's a C in front of his name. That's not the right guy.
Unfortunately. Trey Beeman, future star, so I'm guessing, hey, he's a pirate. You know,
Yeah,
we spoke
future
the
star, but I
Pirates.
don't think Trey Beeman ever was a star.
We spoke the Pirates into existence today. We got
Yeah, we did.
Mike Thurman, draft pick for the Expos. Geronimo Baroa, fun to say.
Yep.
That's a Spectralite
Not,
card.
not a bad player either. Geronimo Burrow was a pretty decent player. I mean, not going to call him one of the all-time greats, but what a great name.
Draft pick in '94, Jacob Shoemate. Tough to be a draft pick for the Braves in '94 because you're not going to get any chance to be on the rotation. Just wasn't going to happen.
No, it's like, how the heck do you how the heck do you get into a lineup that's got Avery, Maddox, Smoltz, Glavin?
Nagel. Well, yeah, Nagel was around it. All right, starting off with another Pirate, Al Martin.
Not a bad player, Al Martin.
He played quite a few years in the minors. Yeah, speaking of Smoltzy, there he is. I don't know if I'd put.
Hey, what's up, John Smoltz?
I don't know if I'd put him above Moose, but probably a toss up. But we're gonna leave Mike. No. And we got Joe Gray. Oh, that was hard to read. We got.
You know what I've noticed? Gold writing is so tough to read.
It is, and they do it a lot, and it's usually hard on the eye. Dave Weathers for the Marlins. Got a couple Marlins back to back, but there just hasn't been that many good to make it to the ball.
Yeah, I mean, Dave Weathers he was a good pitcher, but not. Wow, you really did pick out a couple of Marlins back to back.
Yeah. Mariano Duncan. Flip up sunglasses. Point. Scott Brocious. Decent player.
What position is Brocious?
Well, it has him listed as second and short.
Oh, okay. So it's basically utility infield guy.
But he did play third base, so he was kind of a Rafael Belliard, shortstop for the Braves. You got Ripken and Cordero, All-Stars card. We could
really. I don't think Will Cordero at any point in his career compares to Cal Ripken.
No, not even close. Ooh, hey, we've seen this card already.
We have. Hi, Armando Benitez.
Jeff Reed, future Rocky.
Yep, future Rocky Jeff Reed.
Gerald Williams, outfielder. Yankees. Jeremy Burnett's outfielder for the Mets.
And Jeremy Burnett's had a pretty decent career too. He was okay.
Yeah, in the '90s, he was pretty. Heard of him. Ben McDonald in the Spectralite, which gives you a little bit of that rainbow color.
Ben McDonald was one of those guys that when he came up, He was supposed to be he was supposed to be like the next big star. And I mean, the Orioles were very excited that they were bringing him up, but he never amounted to that.
Yeah,
He didn't even have that long of a career. He played like 9 seasons.
he had a lot of hype. That's for sure.
But he is a member of a Hall of Fame, but it is the College Baseball Hall of Fame.
I thought you were gonna say Canadian.
Yeah, no, it's like I was hoping to when I saw that, but no, this is the College Baseball Hall of Fame.
All right, we gotta find some outfield here.
Yeah, we are thin on the out. Our outfield is.
We got Van Slyke.
We're gonna have to hope that Mussina keeps the ball down and keeps it on the ground in the infield. I mean, we do have Van Slyke out there,
Yeah, he could cover some ground.
but not the whole outfield.
Todd Hundley starts us off. Catcher.
Good catcher.
Jay Buhner, we've talked about him. Ray Sanchez took over for Dougie D.
He did well, and here's the thing: Ray Sanchez, once again, all the hype in the world, around that time because it's like he was the up and comer. Like I said, Harry Carey made these guys always seem like such a big deal, and then once they got there, you go, Ray Sanchez really did not have that great of a career.
Right.
He was okay, but Sean Dunston was a better shortstop than Ray Sanchez.
Blas Minor, other Pirate.
Ooh, but not a good one. Not at all.
Chad Curtis, we saw him. Kevin Apier. Royals.
Very good pitcher, but not better than the Moose.
Luis Gonzalez. He could arguably go in the outfield. I mean, not the best outfielder of all time, but he was.
But he's been on one of our teams though. He has made an all-star team, so we've thought highly of him enough to. He is a good clutch hitter. Unless I'm thinking, it's Luis Gonzalez because he's the one that went to play for the D-backs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Luis Gonzalez was a he was a very good player.
Yeah, we'll keep him. You could always go back and forth. Randy Johnson, he's clearly the GOAT. We could easily put him in there. But I think he's been on enough of them.
Oh, I think he's been on as a Mariner. He's been on as he might have even been. I think he might have been on as an Expo and then as a Diamondback. It's like if you're going to ask me what pitcher I would take above every pitcher I've ever seen and qualified ever seen, it's probably Randy Johnson.
Here's 95 prospects. We got 4 of them. I don't think any of them really. We got Shane Pullen, Kareem Garcia, Ryan Hunter, Jose Malave. Any of those?
Kareem Garcia, I don't think was terrible. I'm gonna look up Kareem Garcia because I'm kind of curious. Maybe I'm just remembering somebody else. Okay, so no, Kareem Garcia was not. He was not great. He did have quite a long career. Not a long career. That's the wrong thing to say. Because he debuted in 1995, and then his last game in the MLB was in 2004. So he still played like 11 seasons, but he only hit 66 home runs, batted .241. But in Korea, he was a superstar.
Sure.
It's like, way to go, Kareem! You get to Korea, and he is a member of a Hall of Fame, the Caribbean Baseball Hall of Fame.
There you go.
It's like, and actually, you know when his induction is? This year. He's
Hey,
being inducted. He's being inducted this year into the Caribbean Baseball Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Kareem Garcia.
you did it. We got Danny Jackson, and I always say when I pull this card for some reason, my instinct is to say Jerry Key, which is kind of
Yeah.
funny because it's actually Jimmy Key.
Yep.
But this was 1994 Topps All Star left-handed. Hey,
Thing is, Jimmy Key, I think, had a very good career with the Toronto Blue Jays.
Mike Fetters, Crew.
I think that's future. He might be a future Rocky, Mike Fetters.
I don't think so.
Well, I'm gonna look him up. You might be right.
Got future stars James Baldwin, White Sox.
Yeah, no, Mike Fetters never played for us.
Stars.
I just figured a mediocre bullpen guy had to be a Rocky at some point.
Andrew Lorraine, Star Trek. Lorraine.
No, I don't think Lorraine was ever a star.
Then we got
Lorraine and Bobbitt is more well known than he is.
All-Star rookie Raul Mondesi.
Raul Mondesi had a hiccup in time. He was really good for the Dodgers. I mean, but then it's like he seemed to fall off the table. He was like really good for a little while, and then he just disappeared. Kind of remind me, who was the other more recent Dodger? Probably within the last 10 years, where he came out as a monster and then he just fell off the I cannot remember his name. That's going to bug me.
For the Dodgers?
Yeah, for the Dodgers. I mean, he was a big deal. It's like, and I cannot remember.
I'm trying to think in my head. You're not talking about Bellinger, are you?
No, I think he was also like a Caribbean player.
Puig?
Yeah, there you go, Yasiel Puig.
Okay.
Yeah, good remembering that. That's not an easy name to remember.
Well, I was trying to think of Dodger players that would be pick up in time. Puig was huge. You know, he was kind of an odd duck, and he could hit a home run though.
Yeah, and I remember he was kind of a Rocky killer too. But I think what ruined him was he was not a good clubhouse guy.
No, like I said, he was a odd duck. I think that kind of hit him a little bit, which is why he was into the antics and such.
Yeah, I mean, it's like there was just that very short amount of time where it's like I remember people we talked about Yasiel Puig and just thought, man, this guy is going to be something.
Hey, it's Mike.
And I was really bummed.
Bill Clark, not Will Clark. Bill Clark.
Bill Clark. Hi, Phil.
Tim Naring.
That's an odd one. Catcher and outfielder.
That's an odd utility, but
yeah.
Okay, there you go. Got Turk Wendell, Cubs. I remember watching him pitch a lot.
Yep. Turk Wendell was another. You know what? If all the prospects worked out that Harry Carey hyped, the Cubs would have won like 6 World Series in the freaking 90s alone.
Right.
It's like Turk Wendell and Steve Traxel and Ray Sanchez. They would have all been amazing.
Forget the fact that they did have Greg Maddux.
And then let him go to the Braves.
Yep. Alex Diaz, Jeff Montgomery, pitcher, Harold Reynolds, Angels. Mike Kelly, outfielder for the Braves. Hey, there's Matt Williams
Boo.
and Wade Boggs.
Boo. Boo, Matt Williams. Boo.
Oh, Pirates draft pick, Mark Ferris. Let's get
Are you the fairest one of them all? No.
I'm gonna go with he did nothing.
Yeah, I'm going to go with he did nothing as well.
All right, and then we got Randy Myers again. All right, saying hey. Jeff D'Amico, future star. Bob Natal, catcher for the Marlins.
Not even sure he was solid catcher.
We got Benny Santiago in the spectra light.
There's a funny part. You just got both of Florida's catchers for 1994 back to back.
Yep. And then we got my favorite name to say, Heathcliff Slocum.
Also a future Rocky.
You don't see a lot of people named Heathcliff anymore.
No. It's like, I'm surprised we don't run into more. Well, and that would be probably in the 2000s and 2010s. It's like, I'm surprised we don't run into more people named Skyler. Because in the early 2000s, it's like everybody was naming their kids Skyler.
And there's the Father Time, Jamie Moyer.
Future Rocky. Future
Yeah.
everything.
That was such a rough time, Rockies. And I was a fan at that time. And watching them have a 40-million-year-old pitcher. He was, I think, 45 or 46 at the time. And the dude could not throw more than 75 miles. I mean,
No, he really couldn't.
It was painful to watch. And, I mean, he would throw some cement mixers over the middle of the plate. It was like, that ball's going to get hit really far.
So when he played for the Rockies in 2012, he missed the entire 2011 season. When he played for us in 2012, he was 49 years old.
He was trying to be, he was going for the oldest win of all time.
He was 2-5 with a 5.70 ERA. I feel like nowadays he could still pitch for the Rockies with that kind of a terrible.
Well, and I think Jimmy Leland was the coach of the. Oh, it was just, they did the stupid piggybacking thing where they would give a pitcher a 70 pitch count and then they would pull him at 70 and bring in somebody else. It was horrible.
Well, because he had a terrible pitching staff. I think he was just trying his best just to get solid pitching performances. And I think he thought that it's like, if his guys don't throw too many pitches, they can give it all they got for 70. But it didn't work.
Nope. Well, sometimes they'd be at 50 pitches in the third inning. I mean, come on.
Yeah. yeah, especially Rockies pitchers.
Damon Easley. He seems like he's like, come on, coach, when am I going to get to play?
You know what? That is a man that is daydreaming of playing time. He does get some playing time. Damian Easley was a decent player, but.
Luis Polonia. There's Moose again. He's same card, just Jim Eisenreich.
He wasn't a bad outfielder, but not great.
He looks in his face is saying he doesn't know what he's about to slide into.
No, it's like, it looks like that's a late slide too. Like he's like already on top of third base.
All right, Ken, you're gonna go into third base. I don't have a third. Oh, that's a cool card. You got Jeff Bagwell and the Big Hurt both on the same card.
Yeah,
Bagwell
two
was
very great players right together.
Bagwell was my. We don't have a first baseman yet. Jeff Bagwell was my favorite. He had such a funny stance. Hector
He
Fajardo.
did. Thing is, though, it's like I don't think Frank Thomas gets quite the recognition he does deserve as being one of the greatest players, period, to ever play the game.
And you got Jim Edmonds there. He could arguably go up on the wall.
He could. Right now, I'm going to say our outfield is a little on the weaker side, but it's like Edmonds was good for a while.
And you got Kevin Witt. Eddie Murray on the Spectra Light.
Definitely one of the all-time greats.
Yeah.
Think at 3,000.
BJ Surhoff. You can't go in the 90s without seeing BJ Surhoff.
Nope.
All right, so we got a second, short, catcher, pitcher, DH, outfield. Okay, we're full. We got a full list now.
So now it's just finding if we can find better guys. So right now the outfield is Van Slyke, Gonzalez, and Edmonds.
Yeah, it's not the best outfield.
I mean, it's not the best outfield, but I kind of like that outfield. I mean, I haven't gotten to talk about Van Slyke or Edmonds.
There's Lenny.
You know, he was actually a really good player. He had some weird stuff that he did after his career, but man, when he played,
he was very athletic.
And he didn't look it.
Nope.
Always had that big wad of chew in the one side of his face. It's like
Kelly Stinnett. There's Charles.
Solid catcher.
Charles Nagy. Another guy we talk about from the 90s that's always in the David Cone. Not as a Yankee yet, but
no, but see, and that's what makes me always wonder. David Cone had a great Yankees career. It's like, why would you let him go if you're the Kansas City Royals? Why would you let David Cone go?
If you're the Cubs, why would you let go of
Greg Maddux? Yeah, I mean, it's just, it's not like they were small market teams that didn't have money. Well, Toronto maybe, and Kansas City was a small market, so maybe they just couldn't pay him.
Hey, look, it's Woody.
Woody? Where's Buzz?
We got Will Cordero again. Ray Lankford, also a good outfielder.
Yep. Feel like the outfield with Brian Jordan and Ray Lankford was, like they are the solid catchers of outfielders.
Interesting. Yeah. I'm trying to think if I would put Ray over Luis Gonzalez. Ray was a
we've never had Ray Lankford. That might be the first time we've ever pulled his card.
Yeah, I don't think so.
272 average, 238 home runs, 874 RBIs. He played for 15 seasons. He was an all-star once. Luis Gonzalez has way better numbers than that.
Tim Wallach. Hey, it's Pat Mahomes.
Wow. It's like you have another guy that is going to so surpass you with his name. But he's the first, Pat Mahomes.
He is the first. We got Mike Dyer.
I wonder if he was a Rocky killer.
You got Lance Blankenship, also a fun name to say.
but not Kenny Blankenship, who was on the show. Oh, what was that show called? It was Kenny Blankenship and Vic Romano. Um, oh, I can remember it was the saying at the end where it was "Don't get eliminated" and
Was it American?
oh, NXT Most Extreme Elimination Challenge.
Oh, that's right. I remember that. Yeah.
Oh, I love that show so much. What a great show!
Future
I just
Rock.
remember what's his face kept saying astronaut.
Most Extreme. Yeah, it was a good one. LaTroy Hawkins, Future Rocky.
Yep. Actually, he was a good player too. It's like at least he had a career.
He was. You got Mac Dookie, future star for the Mariners.
I don't know if he was a future star, but yeah, nice card for him.
And then we got the Spectralite of Ken Caminiti. That's cool. Got a lot of Spectras up there. That's nice. Then we got Jeff Rebele.
That's a good name too, Rebele.
I wonder if they have MX. What is it? MX? Yeah, MXC. I wonder if that's somewhere online. I'm sure it is. I'll have to look that up.
For a while, it was on Prime. You could watch the whole series on Prime, and then it bounced off of Prime to like one of those weird ones like Pluto or something like that, where you get 6,000 commercials.
Yeah, because I remember it was Comedy Central for a while.
Yep. Oh, it's just so much fun to watch.
Yep.
Based off of Takeshi's Castle in Japan.
Todd Benzinger.
You don't see that very often. That picture.
Yeah, from behind the plate.
From behind the plate. Look, it looks like he has his glove in front of the, almost in front of the batter, it looks like from that angle.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Hey, Greg. Has he made the list?
Oh yeah. Greg's made the list a couple of times.
All right, we got Jeff Montgomery.
Greg is a no doubt. I mean, it's like we've gotten a Randy Johnson and a Greg Maddux. I mean, both no doubt about it.
Oh, it was Tommy Glavine's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, no, we did get Tommy last time.
How is that guy an all-star rookie? He looks like he's 40. Come on. He's got to be 40 years old. Maybe it's just the glasses.
He looks like the coach.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But
Big Bob Hamlin.
It's his nickname was the Hammer.
Looks like it should have been Old Man.
The old Hammer.
Yeah, the old Hammer.
There's Ellis.
Let's see. Bob Hamlin was born in 67, and he made his debut in 93. So he was basically 26 years old when he did make his debut, and he did not do much once he got out. But he was the Rookie of the Year in 1994.
You got Ellis Burks, one of my favorites.
And as a Rocky, so that's always good.
Joey Hamilton, all-star rookie. Felix Furman for the Mariners in a bunt. Hate those.
It's like, look at me, I'm about to do something really boring.
Gar Finvold.
What's his first name? Gar?
Gar.
Oh, hey, somebody was just like making a noise and said that's his first name. Gar.
Dave Hansen. And Belcher.
Somebody was making a belching noise, and that's how they came up with the name Gar.
Dave White, Star Trek.
That was the poor man's Randy Johnson. Very poor man.
CJ Nitkowski, draft pick.
Had an okay, few years, I think.
Todd Hundley, catcher, Spectralite. And on.
The same card.
Same prospect card we already got.
congratulations again to Kareem Garcia for going into the Caribbean Baseball Hall of Fame this year.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nope. You know, because there have been a lot of really good Caribbean players, so to make it into their All-Star team their Hall of Fame still has to be pretty good.
All right, we got our last pack coming through here with Darren Fletcher. We saw him. And Dan Wilson.
Solid catcher.
Solid. And Eduardo Perez, we saw him already.
Yep. It's like, man, this guy never plays. Just get a picture of him holding the camera.
Then we got Hojo or John for the Rockies.
Oh, Rockies version.
That's not a great running picture.
Because Hojo at that point couldn't run. That poor man was like, his knees had been just destroyed by that point.
Mike Henneman, pitcher, Tigers.
It was okay for the Tigers.
Carroll Hamilton, outfield, Milwaukee. There's Ken again. He's making his case to stay on the board. I'm gonna keep popping
And I don't think there are many third basemen that can replace you at this point.
And Rafael Arrow, one of my favorite players, not going to beat out Bagwell or Frank Thomas.
Well, here's the thing. You remember Rafi when he was doing the whole, Senate thing or whatever? And he's pounding the table basically saying, I've never done steroids. I've never cheated. I've never done. Then he gets popped like less than a year later for steroids.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, come on, Rafi.
Yeah, Shane Reynolds. There's the Ripken Cordero card.
Couldn't they have found any other shortstop to go next to it?
Let's see. We got Andy Ashby. Decent pitcher for the Padres. He was around for a little while.
Yeah, he was.
Eddie Williams, San Diego Padres. Doug Million, 94 draft pick. Not do much anything for the Rockies.
No, but it's like he had some hype though. It's like, but just like we try to anybody that we freaking try to pick up, it's like we're gonna make something out of them.
Mark.
I'm just gonna tell you that he never played in the MLB.
That kind of makes me think of Riley Pint. Another one that.
Riley Pine at least made it to. The only thing is, so right, it's like Doug Million, he's dead.
Oh, really?
So you want to know why this guy never had a career? He was born on October 13th, 1975. He died in 1997.
Oh.
It's like he was only 21 years old. He died after having a severe asthma attack.
Well, that's sad.
Yeah. I mean, he was a kid. Yeah, that is sad. I mean, we never really got to see what he would have been. He could have been phenomenal, but we would never know because his life was cut way too short. 21 is way too short.
Oh,
just
yeah.
way too short.
Yeah. Well, I feel bad for
rest in peace, Doug Million.
Yep. Sorry, buddy. Tino Martinez. Constant fixture of the 90s. Hey, and we'll end on Phil Clark.
Catch your outfielder again. That
Yeah.
must have been a thing in the 90s. If you play catcher, you got to go to the outfield. I know you can't run.
And you're just gonna everybody's gonna say, hey, where's Clark at? Oh, not you.
Yeah. It's like, you know what? Guess where he's going to be, though, if he's a catcher? Right field.
That is true.
That's where you're going, buddy. If
All
you're
right.
playing center field and catcher, there is confusion as to what you're good at.
Well, there's our wall. We got Luis Gonzalez. We got Paul Konerko, Thomas and Bagwell, Messina, Don Slott, Ken Caminiti, Ozzie, Andy Van Slyke, Lou Whitaker, and Jim Edmond. Not a bad run. Probably going to go lower on the list of the best teams that we've made so far, but
I would, I would agree with that.
we're probably not gonna beat many of the all-star teams that we've assembled to this point, but hey, we'll take it. I mean, it'll give us some more, interesting highlight videos this week that you're gonna do. Different
Yep.
stats, different players. If anybody really likes to dig deep into the stats, do listen to Randy's video because they are uh, informative. He really does a deep dive and gives a lot of information on each player that we do, and it's broken into segments, so it's not too much to intake at once. It's worth a look. Just check out his videos. They're uh, they're a nerd's paradise. If you're into stats.
They are indeed stats, stats, and more stats.
And I all through the 90s, I used to wake up and get the paper so that I could check the box scores and see all the statistics. Or I don't know if they did the stat. I can't remember if they did the stats on the weekend only or if it was. Yeah. Well,
Oh, you're talking about they would do the league leaders?
yeah.
The league leaders, I think, used to be usually like only the Saturday or Sunday paper.
Yeah. That's what I think I remember. But I would do the box scores every day because baseball was almost every. You'd have at least box scores to look at. And it was always nice to get the league leader ones, or the breakdown. It was so much to take in, but you could sit there and look at, kind of gauge how people were doing based off of their hitting and their just the different stats you could get from it. Back before the internet existed, we had to make do with what we had.
Well, and I mean the beauty of the paper was they would always have like every game there was like a little, like they would show, of course, the box score, but there'd be like maybe 3 or 4 paragraphs on what happened in the game. So you'd read that, then you'd have the box score below it. And that was every game in the paper. I mean, it was just fun to go through a lot of them and just look at all that stuff. And I think that it's like, if I remember right, like they would do like the top 5 every single day in the paper. They would have the top 5 in like the bottom corner of like your major ones, like hitting, batting average, home runs, RBIs, and like pitchers would be wins, ERA, and maybe saves. But then on Sunday is when you got like the top 20s of each major statistic,
Yep.
where you could really deep look into who's in there. And I remember there was a year where Galarraga won the batting championship. It's like just seeing Galarraga up there like 360 to 370 throughout the whole year. Just having a great season for us.
Yeah, and I don't. Yeah, that was back during the Blake Street Bombers, so you at least had people hitting home runs. And I was, as a Rockies fan, I used to like to see the names in the paper, and then eventually there was going back to ESPN. Used to do the play of the day, and no one from Colorado ever made the play of the day except for once. and it was Nafi Perez hitting he got a barehanded barehanded ball at short, threw the guy out at first, and that made the play of the day. And I was really excited because a Rocky actually made the ESPN play of the day.
Yeah, there weren't a lot of Rockies that. I mean, it's like I love the Rockies, but they weren't. I mean, I think I remember one from Larry Walker where he threw out a guy at, like, the ball was hit on a line drive and the guy took off from first because he thought it was going to be, over Larry's head, and Larry threw him back out at first.
Yeah.
Just threw a rope back first and just nailed him.
Well,
And it
Larry,
was like, man, that guy had such a good arm in right field.
he had an arm that was unrivaled, for sure.
Just one of the many reasons he should have been a Hall of Famer a long time ago. Because I don't care what you say, his cannon of an arm that threw out guys at home plate on many occasions. He was a great defensive player, a great hitter, good speed. He had everything. Hit for average. He had everything. There was no reason for them to keep him. I don't care about the Coors Field bias. There was no reason to keep him out as long as they did.
No doubt. Well, that'll wrap things up for this episode of Packs for Breakfast. We have 1995 Tops Series 1 Power Pack. Hopefully, everybody did enjoy a little trip back into the middle of the 90s after the strike. Next week, I'm not sure what we're doing, so I'll try and get that figured out. We might go into we might go back and do some more basketball next week. Early 90s basketball. That could be fun. Still trying to pin it down, but as I said, if you're into stats, definitely check out Randy's videos that he posts during the week or previously. Very in depth on the stats, and just good information. Get to talk about these guys, what their career was like, how they did. You really get a broad spectrum of their accomplishments. And yeah, so next week we'll be back with another episode, and we'll continue to put out videos all week long. Haven't yet, please like and subscribe. I hate saying that, but I figured why not? We'll just say it. Everybody else does. I really do hate saying it, but and that'll do it.
And don't forget to hit the bell for notifications.
Yeah, that's even worse. You don't have to hit the bell. I don't.
I don't hit the bell. I know when my favorite content creators have released their stuff, so it's like the bell is unnecessary.
Unnecessary. Well, thanks for watching.
Unless you want to go to Taco Bell.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Randy, thank you for joining me again. See you all next week.